Clerk,
Yes, Your Honor.
we will call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Here.
Jeffers?
Here.
Call?
Here.
Mayor Mingus?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please stand for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this momentous council meeting tonight where we gather as a community, as an elected body, both past and new council members to take office tonight. And we're grateful that we have the freedom to have this smooth transition here in our city. May it be one that as a community we support and work together, both elected officials and our citizens. And we just pray that your will be done as the work ahead is before us all, whether we're elected or citizens that live here in this city. May we all do our part to be thankful and speak well of our city. May that be our goal. May that be our practice. Thank you now that we can be gathered. Thank you for the nice group that's gathered, for those watching by television and the recordings and that come later. May this be a good day, one of reflection and one of looking back, but also looking in the future. And in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome each of you here tonight. It's good to see so many people. Approval of minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 16, 2019, and the minutes of the closed meeting, executive session held on February 19, 2019, be approved as printed.
Second, please.
Second.
Commissioner Decker, discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Jeffers?
Aye.
Call?
Aye.
Mayor Mingus?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Communications, please.
I have communication from John C. Ackerman, the County Clerk, certifying the Canvassing Board of Tazewell County canvassed the returns of the election held on April 2nd, 2019, and further certifying the following list of candidates each received the number of votes recorded to him or her for the office on the attached statement of votes cast. Based upon the votes canvassed, the following individuals were elected to the City Council: Mayor John P. Call, Commissioners Daniel S. Decker, Seth D. Mingus, Mark Hill, and Michael Lee Sutherland.
Anything else?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Anybody in the audience want to speak to the council on an agenda item? Come forward. Seeing no one come forward.
Hold up, Mayor.
Oh no, Rick.
Just a little surprise.
On the agenda item.
You need to have those eyes checked, if you would.
You're so little there.
Senator Kaler asked me to deliver this tonight, if the Madam Clerk would please read this publicly. He was in session tonight, so he couldn't be here.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, it says proclamation presented by Assistant Majority Leader Dave Kaler, congratulating on his retirement as Mayor of East Peoria. Dave Mingus presented this 7th day of May 2019. Whereas the members of the Illinois Senate are pleased to congratulate Dave Mingus on his retirement after serving as Mayor of East Peoria for 12 years, and whereas Mr. Mingus served as Director of Neighborhood House in Peoria for 12 years, and whereas Mr. Mingus is a certified counselor and social worker and served on the school board and then 3 terms on the City Council before being elected mayor in 2007, and whereas Mr. Mingus is a proud graduate of Limestone Community High School, Eureka College, and Bradley University, married with 3 children and 5 grandchildren, and served as the first director of Eastside Center, therefore be it proclaimed by the Senate of the 101st General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we commend Mr. Mingus on his lifetime of dedication to the East Peoria and Peoria area community, and be it further proclaimed that a suitable copy of this resolution be presented to Mr. Mingus as a symbol of our esteem and respect. Signed, Senator Dave Kaler, Assistant Majority Leader, 46th Senate District.
Well, I'm grateful to Senator Kaler. Thank you very much. Actually, there's 6 grandchildren. We can't forget one. All right, we're at a consent agenda. No, there have been no objections. I'll turn it over to Morgan for comment.
Your Honor, there was a scrivener's error on the agenda. All the items listed under items removed from consent agenda are actually on the consent agenda, so therefore to be adopted by omnibus vote.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Go right ahead.
Yes, thank you. I always read this exactly the way Morgan would like, so it's quite a bit of reading, so bear with me. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items number 1 through 5. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 1819-161, resolution to approve payment of the schedule of bills listed on schedule number 24 in the amount of $2,324,242.16. Item number 2, adoption of ordinance number 4433 on its second reading, an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 9, Section 4, and Title 5, Chapter 10, Section 2 of the East Peoria Code for the purpose of allowing massage establishments as a special use in the B3 Business Service District and M1 and M2 Manufacturing District. Item number 3, adoption of resolution number 1819-155 on its second reading. Resolution authorizing the purchase of a replacement automated arm on solid waste truck number 44 in the amount of $17,413.38. Item number 4, adoption of resolution number 1819-156 on its second reading, accepting the lowest responsible bidder for purchase of chlorine scrubber unit for the Centennial Water Treatment Plant from Denora Water Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $44,000. Item number 5, adoption of resolution number 1819-154 on its second reading, resolution approving payment for purchase of new chassis and equipment upgrading for the fire department ambulance. Item number 6, adoption of resolution number 1819-152 on its second reading, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of radios and related equipment for the new ambulance from Reagan Communications Incorporated in the amount of $10,570.90. Item number 7, adoption of resolution number 1819-153 on its second reading, resolution accepting audit services proposal for preparing the city's annual financial audits with Clifton Larson Allen. Item number 8, adoption of resolution number 1819-158 on its second reading, resolution approving Microsoft licensing subscription renewal for the city from PTC selected at a cost of $32,468.25. Item number 9, adoption of resolution number 1819-157 on its second reading. Resolution approving pump equipment upgrade for the irrigation system at Eastside Center, as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
Second, please.
Second.
Commissioner Call.
Thanks.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Jeffers?
Aye.
Call?
Aye.
Mayor Mingus?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that the items numbered 1 through 9 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted. The items numbered 2 through 9 having been read once by their title, having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
Second, please.
Second?
Commissioner Jeffers. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Jeffers?
Aye.
Call?
Aye.
Mayor Mingus?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Good job, Commissioner. Keep right on going.
All right. One item, Mayor. Ordinance number 4434, an ordinance providing for the transfer of real property to the East Peoria Sanitary District, having been read once by its title, having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
Second, please.
Second?
Commissioner Jeffers.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeffers. As stated before, we have property sometimes that is of no use to us that we own, and it is of more use to, in this case, the sanitary district. So it's always in the best interest of the public not to keep a hold of property just because we can hold on to it. Ty, if there's anything else to say about it?
You covered it well, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Other discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Jeffers?
Aye.
Call?
Aye.
Mayor Mingus?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That's all I have right now, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Commissioner Jeffers.
I have nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Call.
Nothing, sir.
Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker, go to you first.
Me first, good. I will talk about myself a little bit later. But 12 years ago, I was elected to East Peoria City Council, and that is when I met Tim Jeffers, slightly before that, and I had known Dave Mingus a few years before that. He actually took a class from me that I was teaching, an EMT class. All of a sudden, this 6'5" man comes into the EMT classroom, and he's going to take the class. And The thing that impressed me the most at that time about him is he was a commissioner over the fire department, but it was important enough to him to learn as much as he could about the position and about the things that go on in the department in which he serves, that he took an enormous amount of time out of his schedule to attend Monday, Wednesday nights, I think. I
Yeah,
taught a couple, but
Got an A, too.
Monday, Wednesday night. Really? No. He did great. And when you're working, you're raising a family, and you spend that much time doing something that you don't have to do simply for the purpose of just trying to understand what you're getting yourself into. It showed me then who he was, and that was when I just kind of barely knew him. He was a commissioner. Obviously, fast forward, and he became the mayor. Tim Jeffers, one thing about Tim is he would take more time than anyone I knew researching and working on any topic that he came up. The amount of time, the dedication that he had to whatever topic it was enormous. I bring up these two things because this is a type of thing, or these are the types of people these guys are. They have both, just going to kind of lump them together, both been such a true asset to this community. We don't always agree with each other. I've been in some pretty good arguments with both of them, but their heart has always been in the right place. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time serving with these two gentlemen. Didn't know them well before, and obviously throughout this time I've gotten to know them very well. Traveled down to Louisiana once for a developer with Tim, looking at a hotelier. Spent many, many hours with both of them, and I've learned so much from both. I am a different person today for many reasons, but one of those reasons is because of the people that I've hung out with. And I've spent a lot of times hanging out with both of them. And I've really appreciated everything I've learned from both of them. They're both men of God. They're both good people who care about this community. And I wouldn't have traded being on this council for anything with those two gentlemen.
Thank you, Commissioner, very much for the comments. Mr. Jeffers?
May I reserve mine till the end? Before we adjourn as this council? Can I do that?
Sure. Commissioner Call.
Sure. Well, it's a changing of the guard here this evening, and I want to just congratulate both Commissioner Jeffers and Mayor Mingus for their time of service here on the council. Commissioner Jeffers spent 12 years. There's no question. Obviously, we just completed a campaign that we may not have agreed on all the things throughout that campaign process, but I'll tell you, one thing I'd never question is Tim's intent. And without a question, his intent was always looking out for the best interests of this city. And I believe that of anybody sitting up here, no different than I'll believe that of the next council that sits up here. So for that, sir, I appreciate your service to this city and the community. Mayor Mingus, 24 years. 12 as a commissioner, 12 as a mayor. Greatly appreciate everything that you've done. The last 4 years serving with both of you has meant a lot to me, so thank you.
Thank you, sir, very much. Well, I guess I'll make comments now, because Tim will get you as you make the motion, the final motion.
If that's okay with you, sir.
That's fine. I want to thank each of my colleagues and the councils before. It's been really great. My mom and dad are in the audience. Right, put your hands up there. 24 years ago, they were here as I took my oath, my sister June and Joe, and you're seeing the 24 years later. My wife Kendra, I want to acknowledge her because she really deserves it. In 24 years, I think I've missed 2 regular meetings. No, I missed not more than 2. I missed 2 special meetings, and I used to get really irritated at Dennis when he called a special meeting when I had something planned, because I want to keep my record clean. But that's not the point. The point is that my best friend, Kendra, she actually had to revolve her entire life around the city. I mean, can you imagine that every vacation? And it's like she'd make plans, and I'd say, I can't do it. It's on a Tuesday. she'd get mad at me. But we made that, she made that commitment, and I really appreciate it, Candor, because you served really with a lot of dignity and respect, and I'm very grateful to you. The residents of East Peoria have been very good to me. Many of you in the audience, I thank you. Staff, Dennis Triggs, Rick Swan. Rick scheduled to talk for me this morning, my last day. He still scheduled me to talk this morning. But I'm very grateful and appreciate everything everybody's done. And God bless you all. So, Commissioner, you're up.
I'm up. You know, we did change something here this year. We did away with the third council meeting, the fifth. Now this council meeting meets first, third, and if needed, a fifth Tuesday. So now we did free up some time. You maybe could have, if you'd have done this earlier, we could have had more length for your vacation to get fit in there. But
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just say that I've known Dave Mingus since before I was ever in this seat, and I've commented, others have commented before, but no, I've known Dave, I guess, probably 15 plus years, at least when we first met. I know I served on the Human Relations Commission prior to being on the council, and that's probably the beginnings of discussion and some things. So I appreciate Dave's integrity and his working and showing us how it's to be done. I really like the way Dave, of course, he's a counselor by trade, right? So, but it's good how he would conduct, I think this is true, and I've served on other boards, but I appreciate the way that he had a way of asking questions and having us respond and trying to draw out the sentiment of where we were on an issue. So he didn't say anything until he heard us and we had worked together, but he had drawn out by the questions he asked where it helped point us or helped us make decisions. We didn't just make them flippantly at all. It was with intent that everything was done properly and in order and aired out completely. And Dave has a talent for that. And that's a real gift any leader that I try and emulate with my boards that I'm on and people I work with, whether it's mentoring one-on-one or a group. It's the same principle.
Thanks, Tim.
And that will go on for all of us, and that should be a good example for all of us. But Mayor asked me if I had any comments, and I said, have you ever known me to type anything out ahead of time?
This is scary.
And I said, I have comments, and I said, he says, will it take more than 10 minutes? And I said, well, no, it won't take 10 minutes. But I just didn't want to miss some of the things that I wanted to say or try and communicate. So I don't want to just read this verbatim. I may read more than usual, but let me just give it out, and then we can get on with the transition and let these new guys, they're anxious to probably get up here in these seats. I don't want to take away from their day. This is their night, not mine. But let me just begin by thanking my family for the last 12 years, because, you know, and Mayor, you alluded to it with your wife and putting up with this. It's a family commitment, really. But my wife Lynn, she's here tonight. She's back in almost the back row. And my daughters, Sharon, Janelle, and her husband Mike, and Jennifer and her husband Doug. And during these 12 years, our 4 grandkids have been born. And so one of them even is named the same as Dennis Triggs, is our attorney. His grandson is named the same as my youngest grandson. His name is Jet. So forever we have that connection. But my mom too. My mom lives here in East Peoria still, 86 years old, and helped address envelopes, things like that. So she's always been very supportive of what we've done. And, you know, I'm grateful for the friendships and encouragements we've received. You know, people with their action, not just words, but action. And I had a lot of people, and people that know me know this is true, that people would come up to me and say, Tim, I'm praying for you. And they're very sincere in that, and I will not ever forget that. Going back to 2007, when we were elected, and this is the same thing I think the new members will find. When Lynette and I were elected into this position, it threw us into different people groups. Right away it did. People that we did not normally rub shoulders with. People such as the Chamber of Commerce, state and federal representatives, members of our faith community, which I guess in that area I knew many of them, but it broadened our outreach as a city leader to have more contact with these people. And those were rich experiences that we've had, and those will continue. Maybe less of a scale for the governmental side of the house, but it gives you a chance to meet people from a wide range in the area and the community, even beyond East Peoria. I think that's important, and we all represent the city, no matter if we're elected or not. In this case, as an elected official, I always count it as a privilege. And I also realize this, that the councils that came before me prior to these 12 years, we benefited a lot these last years. And Dave, Mayor, I think you agree that, you were on a lot of these 12 years, 3 terms before Ira showed up. And you benefited from things before you arrived, so it's none of us did this by ourselves.
That's right.
And I think that proved out very, very much so as we look around us and see what's happened. It did not just happen, over a period of a few weeks. These things took years in planning and waiting on the government and so forth, and so I'm mindful of that. I do want to, and I want to keep moving here, I do want to thank a few people here that I worked with these last 12, and I was privileged to be in Public Works the last all 12 years over water sewer area. And I really appreciate our staff. Now, our director, Dennis Barron's out of town in training this week. And I just have to mention, he's been on the job a short time. Before him was Steve Ferguson. And I really appreciate the work Dennis is doing and will continue to do. Jennifer, Todd, Rick's here tonight filling in for Dennis. All the staff, we had a great run, 12 years, and the staff there and the employees. We've really had some great cost savings and cost-saving ideas and working together to make things work better. It's been a great team. And I think every department, whatever discipline we have in the city, don't underestimate your employees and those that work day-to-day doing this, because they're here every day. And, take it from them that, they really can be a real blessing to you if you work together with them. Dan mentioned myself, but Dan's been in Public Works also these last 12 years, and together we overlapped some things, and those were some great days, and still, I remember them always. Your kids were a whole lot younger then when we first met. Now they're knocking on the door of soon to college and everything else in time, but our kids, my grandkids have grown up while your kids have grown up, so that's a great memory, and Dan's become one of my best friends, and that'll continue on. We've also had staff here in the City Hall building, and I don't want to miss any names, but I mentioned those that work for our water department and support for us. Michelle, who manages the office, Lynn, Jessica, Jamie, Julie, and of course, City Clerk Morgan. Morgan came to us early on in our term. I think she's the first city clerk that ever had a baby while serving the city clerk. That's her claim to fame, but it's just been a great addition. Morgan coming here, and this is a real bright spot to much of us. Much thanks to Dennis Triggs, our city attorney, whom I found to be the absolute best in his professionalism and fairness. And Dennis always represented and will continue to represent the city with honor, and none better than Dennis Triggs. I mean that as sincerely as I can say. And Dennis, thank you. Just to reminisce a few things, and we've brought these things up in the past, but I'll just mention these things in passing. As a member of the council that I've served on, we were unanimous in our support to expand the capital fund to share proceeds that allowed the construction of a new junior high, as well as a new addition and cafeteria for the high school. This is something I've been cleaning up at my house a bit. But these are some cards that I found that after we had passed that capital fund sales tax sharing of the building fund, these are cards I received in December of 2007 from school children and people at the school board, et cetera, saying thank you to us as a council. And I kept that, and it's several dozen. Scores of people signed these, and I didn't always get a lot of mail as a commissioner, but this is one time I did, and I kept it because it's such an important thing to me, and I think we can see the results. These kids now that signed this in 2007, they're maybe in college, have children, and et cetera, and we've had another generation move into these additions, so that's a great thing. But we did that as a council. As a member of the council, we gave our support to the Bass Pro and the Levy District, along with the financial packages to make them happen. And hundreds of real jobs came as a result of that. It's a real fact. Hundreds and hundreds of jobs are down here as a result. And this is some really, I think, great news that I think the councils coming in the future should realize this, and I think the city of East Peoria residents should realize that due to all this development, the city has already received approximately $5 million of new dollars above and beyond expenses from these projects around us, with the seed planted even before we ever showed up. But you know what? Over the next 8 years, we will receive over $20 million in the next 8 of new dollars coming to our city. All right? It's a great thing. And then in another, and after that, we'll be receiving $8 million annually in new dollars to the city. So it's out there. You don't always reap the day after you sow, but there's a good, positive cash flow coming for us in the days ahead. It's already started, but it's going to be increasing a lot. And so that will help the current council as they move through these times. We don't have maybe as many dollars as we like right now today, but as they look we have to budget out 5-10 years ahead. This really will help them look ahead of what's coming. And I just wanted to highlight that because I think that's good news, and good news is there. So as a member of the council, we gave our support to a new library and shared space that saved us both hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're here tonight. It's a great thing. As a member of our current council, we were unanimous in our support for the wastewater plant rebuild system refurb that will provide for our city business partners and residences for years to come, and that's coming in the next few weeks on the agenda here for the council. As a member of our current council, we were unanimous in our support for an increase in our sales tax to continue our current level of city services, as well as meet our increased costs due to state mandates. We plugged that gap reluctantly, but it had to be done, and we did it. All these actions above and many more could be listed, demonstrate that what can be done when we work together. Let me close with this. The new council begins their new term in a few minutes. I know from my time of being seated for the first time in 2007, they are excited. Now, they may not show it, but they really are, and there's probably a bit nerves there, but that's how I felt anyway. They are excited and getting ready to go as they begin this next season in their lives. Pray for them that they work together effectively, putting aside personal gain for the good of the city of East Peoria. The potential is there for a bright future. It's been my pleasure to serve these last 12 years, and I would say this, speak well of our city.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeffers, very much. We'll go ahead and read the motion.
Yes, I'm going to read the motion. Mr. Mayor, I move you that the sitting City Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois be adjourned sine die.
Very good. Second, please.
Second.
Commissioner Call. Discussion, roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Jeffers?
Aye.
Call?
Aye.
Mayor Mingus?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Before we adjourn, I want to say that I have full faith in the council who are going to be sworn in tonight. Congratulate each of you, and the city's in good hands. We also want to make a presentation.
Yeah. I'd ask that Mrs. Jeffers and Mrs. Mingus please step up to the podium and be recognized. Sure.
Can I say this another day?
Commissioner, Mayor Call, take your seat.
Oh, boy. So we're going to ask the newly elected commissioners to please step forward, and with them, I ask that their spouses please join them or significant others as they take their oath.
repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Seth Dominguez,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of Commissioner
to the office of Commissioner
in the city of East Peoria,
City of East Peoria
in the county of Tazewell,
in the county of Tazewell,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Commissioner
of Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
Any special orders?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. Can you raise your right hand and repeat after me, please?
Yes, I can.
I state your name,
I, Mike Sutherland,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of Commissioner
to office of Commissioner
in the city of East Peoria,
in the city of East Peoria,
in the county of Tazewell,
in the county of Tazewell,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Commissioner
of Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Right here.
Top line, yes. Top line. Can you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name,
I, Mark Hill,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of Commissioner
to the office of Commissioner
in the city of East Peoria,
in the city of East Peoria,
in the county of Tazewell,
in the county of Tazewell,
state of Illinois,
state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
and the duties of the office
of Commissioner
of Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Go ahead and sign that top line right there for me. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Daniel Decker,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of Commissioner
to the office of Commissioner
in the city of East Peoria,
in the city of East Peoria,
in the county of Tazewell,
county of Tazewell,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Commissioner
of Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Just that top line right there.
I'm going to be the Lone Ranger here.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, John P. Call,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of Mayor
to the office of Mayor
in the city of East Peoria,
in the city of East Peoria,
in the county of Tazewell,
in the county of Tazewell,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Mayor
of Mayor
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability. Thank you.
Sign that top line for me.
Thank you, Morgan.
All right.
So I want to point out these nameplates, we'll get the permanent ones here in a couple weeks. These are our little makeshift ones to get us through the evening. That being said, we'll go ahead and call the meeting of the newly elected council to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Here.
Mingus?
Here.
Sutherland?
Here.
Mayor Call?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Very good. Public comment. Council business from the audience on agenda items. Any public comments? Hearing none. Very good. With that, Commissioner Hill.
Mr. Mayor, I have 3 items tonight. Resolution approving and accepting the official bonds of the newly elected and sworn mayor and commissioners. Whereas Title I, Chapter 2, Section 3.6 of the City Code and State Statute 65, Illinois compiled statutes 5/4-4-2 require the mayor and each commissioner to give a bond in a sum not to be less than $3,000. And whereas the attached bonds are proper and sufficient, now and therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that the official bonds of Mayor John P. Call and Commissioners Daniel S. Decker, Mark E. Hill, Seth D. Mingus, and Michael L. Sutherland in the amount of at least $3,000 each, attached hereto and signed by proper and qualified sureties, be hereby approved, and that the bonds be placed on file in the office of the city clerk as required by law, be hereby approved, and that this resolution number 1920-001 be adopted as presented. Mr. Mayor, I move that the resolution number 1920-001 be adopted as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Any discussion?
This one it's common and/or mandated that public officials that have fiduciary duties be covered by a bond, and that's what this resolution is about.
Very good. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Okay, item number 2, Mr. Mayor. I move you that ordinance number 4438 hereto attached, an ordinance designated newly elected council members to serve as commissioners of specific duties and regarding the status of the mayoral position, be read at length by the clerk, and that said ordinance number 4438 be accepted on its first reading and be hereby adopted as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Deck. Morgan?
Whereas the mayor and commissioners are each respectively charged with the responsibility of serving as the head of a specific department of the city and accepting the responsibility for the management of that department, whereas in furtherance of their respective charges, the mayor and each of the commissioners are required by the Illinois Municipal Code to devote such time to the duties of their respective offices as the faithful discharge may require. Whereas pursuant to Illinois Municipal Code, the mayor shall be commissioner of the Department of Public Affairs, and the city council is to designate one commissioner to be the commissioner of the Department of Accounts and Finance, one to be the commissioner of the Department of Public Health and Safety, one to be commissioner of the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, and one to be Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. Whereas via ordinance number 2777 on December 6, 1994, the City Council fixed the compensation for the mayor and each of the commissioners, and whereas in recognition that the duties of the position of mayor as the chief executive officer of the city change over time given the needs of the city, and the City Council fixed the compensation for the mayor for the performance of duties on a full-time basis, and separately fixed the compensation for mayor for performance of duties on a part-time basis. And whereas the fixed salaries of all commissioners and that of both the full-time and part-time mayor were set by ordinance, but upwardly adjusted annually according to the change in the Consumer Price Index for the preceding calendar years reported by the United States Department of Labor. And whereas recognizing increased demands on August 8, 2016, the position of city administrator was filled with the objective of professionalizing the governmental operation by strengthening the role of the city administrator. Whereas on November 1st, 2016, by reason of having revised the city's organizational structure by strengthening the role of the city administrator, the position of mayor was designated a part-time position. And whereas the position of city administrator became vacant on September 30th, 2018, and whereas pursuant to the Illinois Municipal Code, the council shall determine the powers and duties to be performed by each department and shall make such rules and regulations as may be necessary or proper for the efficient and economical conduct of the business of the municipality. Whereas the city council chooses not to fill the position of city administrator, whereas in absence of the city administrator, the mayor shall, in addition to the duties of the commissioner of the Department of Public Affairs, perform the customary duties of a city administrator, and pursuant to statute, shall report to the council for his actions on all matters requiring attention in any department. And whereas in the absence of a city administrator, greater demands are placed upon the mayor. And given the needs of the city, the faithful discharge of the duties of the mayor requires that the position be a full-time position. And whereas the city has fixed the compensation of the mayor for the performance of duties on a full-time basis more than 180 days before the beginning of the term, commencing on May 7th, 2019, and whereas designating the position of mayor a full-time position with all of the duties and compensation attendant thereto in lieu of filling the position of city administrator results in a cost savings to the city in excess of $55,000 annually. And whereas in advance of the municipal election held on April 2nd, 2019, the city council resolved that those yet to be elected by the voters to serve on the next city council shall determine if it is in the best interest of the city that the position of mayor be part-time or full-time. Salaries for both such positions have been previously fixed by the city council, whereas it is in the best interest of the city that the mayor elected at the April 2nd, 2019 municipal election perform duties on a full-time basis. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois that, Section 1, statements set forth in the preambles to this ordinance are hereby found to be true and correct. Section 2, Mark E. Hill is designated Commissioner of the Department of Accounts and Finance. Section 3, Seth D. Mingus is designated Commissioner of the Department of Public Health and Safety. Section 4, Daniel S. Decker is designated Commissioner of the Department of Streets and Public Improvements. Section 5, Michael L. Sutherland is designated Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. Section 6, John P. Call, elected mayor at the April 2nd, 2019 municipal election, shall perform duties on a full-time basis. Section 7, this ordinance is hereby ordered to be published in pamphlet form by the East Peoria City Clerk, and said clerk is ordered to keep at least 3 copies hereof available for public inspection in the future and in accordance with the Illinois Municipal Code. Section 8, this ordinance is in addition to all other ordinances on the subject and shall be construed therewith, excepting as to that part in direct conflict with any other ordinance, and in the event of such conflict, the provisions hereof shall govern. Section 9, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage, approval, and publication in the manner provided by law.
Okay. That very lengthy ordinance was about setting of the department assignments and the mayor being a full-time position. So when we discussed the assignments, you know, we took into consideration as far as there was discussions considering skills, education, experience, and the needs of the city. And these assignments are a result of those discussions. In regards to the mayoral position, you know, as the ordinance stated, we are proposing there that the full-time mayor, you know, we looked at whether there should have a full-time mayor with a full-time administrator, full-time administrator with a part-time mayor, or in this case, a full-time mayor. And I think in the best interest of the city, we're saying that the full-time mayor is in the best interest of the city at this time.
Comments from the council?
I'd like to say, Mayor, I am going to support this tonight. The only issue I had was with the mayoral position, I would have preferred to wait about 6 months just to watch to see how things go. However, having the experience I have up here, I do believe that it's the right thing to do. Years ago, 3-4 years ago, I made those statements. In a commission form of government, it's very difficult. And the city administrator position is extremely difficult because it's one has a position of power but without power. It's kind of strange to look at it that way, but it makes it very difficult. So having said that, I'm of the belief that if we're going to have a full-time position, it should be someone who is elected by the people. So as we looked at it for this, I would have felt better about it if we would have waited 6 months. But I understand that we need to do it tonight. After speaking with Dennis, it makes it stronger if we just go ahead and do it tonight when we talk about the different positions everybody's having. As well as that, I think that we have an opportunity here potentially to save some money. One thing that is always difficult in at least the community government that I've been in is communication. And I think I see an opportunity with the mayor to do that, potentially having, whether it be routine meetings with commissioners or what have you, but be a point person between the council and the different departments, I think can be very valuable.
Very good, thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none. Obviously, this affects my position. I'll be abstaining, but want the council to know I appreciate their trust in me, and I will strive to do the best job I possibly can on your behalf. So, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Abstain.
I have 4 ayes and 1 abstention, Your Honor.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor, I have one more item, resolution regarding Mayor Call as authorized signatory on various bank accounts and agreements entered into by the city. Whereas former Mayor David W. Mingus is an authorized signatory not only on various bank accounts maintained by the city of East Peoria, the city, but also under the terms of agreements entered into by the city with various third parties. And whereas John P. Call commenced his term as mayor of the city on May 7th, 2019, now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Mayor John P. Call be hereby designated as an authorized signatory on all accounts held in the name of the city with any banking institution receiving funds deposited by the city. Mayor Call is further designated as an authorized signatory under the terms of any agreements between the City of East Peoria and third parties where the signature of the mayor is deemed necessary or appropriate. The city clerk and the city treasurer are hereby authorized and directed to take such action as is necessary to verify any interested party, the authority of Mayor Call to sign checks or other documents on behalf of the city. Former Mayor David W. Mingus shall no longer be an authorized signatory on behalf of the city. Mr. Mayor, I move that the resolution number 1920-002 be adopted as presented.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Who was it? Was it Commissioner?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Sutherland.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Anything else? Any comments from the council?
Now, again, this is a standard procedure to allow Mr. Call to pay our bills and sign on behalf of the city.
Very good. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
I have all present voting aye, Your Honor.
Mr. Mayor, that's it for me.
Okay. Commissioner Decker.
One item, Mayor, resolution number 1920-003, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, Tazewell County, Illinois, that the following officers of the City of East Peoria be hereby reappointed: Morgan R. Cadwalader, City Clerk; Dennis R. Triggs, City Attorney; Jeffrey M. Becker, Treasurer, Director of Finance; Stephen M. Rogie, Police Chief; John F. Knapp, Fire Chief; Ty Livingston, Director of Planning and Community Development; Dennis W. Barron Jr., Director of Public Works, Douglas E. McCarty, Director of Tourism and Special Events, and that this resolution number 1920-003 be adopted as presented. Mr. Mayor, I move you that resolution number 1920-003 be adopted as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. This is something we do each, after each election.
Any other comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
That's all I have right now, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sutherland.
I think they just want to find out if I know how to read, because I don't know why I'm stuck doing this one. Resolution number 1920-004. Whereas the city code provides that the mayor serves as the local liquor control commissioner for the city of East Peoria. And whereas the city code further provides that the mayor may appoint other persons to the East Peoria Liquor Control Commission to assist him in the exercise of his duties. And whereas the Honorable Mayor John P. Call wishes to recommend the appointment of Commissioner Mark E. Hill and Commissioner Seth D. Mingus to serve as members of the local Liquor Control Commission for the city. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City of the East Peoria, Illinois, that the appointment by Mayor John P. Call of the Commissioner of Mark E. Hill and Commissioner Seth D. Mingus to local Liquor Control Commission for the city be approved, and that this resolution number 1920-004 be adopted as presented. Mr. Mayor, I move that the resolution number 1920-004 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Mr. Mayor, I have one resolution, resolution number 1920-005. Whereas a vacancy exists on the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals as a result of Mark Hill's resignation, and whereas the Honorable Mayor John P. Call has recommended the appointment of Norman Sales to fill the vacancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that the appointment of Mayor John P. Call of Norman Sales to the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the unexpired term ending April 30th, 2021, and that this resolution, number 1920-005, be adopted as presented.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Any discussion?
This is pretty self-explanatory. Commissioner Hill had to resign based on his being elected to this position, and Norm has been appointed to it.
Very good. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Yes.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Very good. That wraps up the agenda items. Any public comments on non-agenda items? Anyone care to step up and speak? Forever hold your peace. Seeing none? Very good. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker.
I have a couple things, Mayor. First of all, if any of you drove to the Levy District this Saturday, you noticed an enormous number of cars, and that is awesome. Cars and Coffee, it's called. Is it 7 to 9 or 8 to 10, Doug? 8 to 10. It is an event that used to not be held in East Peoria, but it was brought to East Peoria, and it will be great for the community, for the businesses in the Levy District. Brings a lot of cars here, cars that you'll not see often, but people come, hang out, and it was really nice to see so many people down here. Having said that, and I just got a confirmation a little while ago that I can mention this at night, but the I guess the directors, the people in charge of Cars and Coffee, were very happy with everything they received in East Peoria, the support that they've received from the community. Glad about that. They are also, Friday Night's Lights is going to be moving to East Peoria as well. Cars and Coffee is on the first Saturday of each month, and Friday Night's Lights is on the third Friday each month from 6 to 9 p.m. I know it starts in May. Does it go through October? I'm sorry, Friday Night Lights starts in June through August. The Cars and Coffee goes through October, November. I have to find out for sure. A great thing, though. It's nice to see that so many different organizations are utilizing our downtown. They're coming, they're spending money in the city of East Peoria, and it's really important. I like to see that. Another thing, I've mentioned a couple times before, I was able to go on the honor flight this last Tuesday, and I always talk about this because it's so important. It is such a great event. If anybody is looking for a place to donate, the honor flight takes veterans that are completely deserving of our efforts and takes them to Washington, D.C. They get to see the monuments and everything constructed to honor the work and sacrifice that they did. And then when they come home, it's tremendous to see the community outpouring of support. Our flight, if you might have heard a little bit about it, got struck by lightning on the way out there. And then we diverted. We weren't going anywhere close to the bad weather on the way back. So I think they went by Chicago and came in the back way just to make sure that we weren't going to encounter any more lightning. But it was about 11 or so when we got back in. But there was still just an enormous amount of people. The airport was packed. And it's so great to see the reaction, the looks on the faces of the veterans. It makes it all worth it. Such a great, worthy event. If you ever get the opportunity to go support, I strongly encourage it. Finally, one thing I forgot to say a little while ago, and I was thinking about it earlier today, and I just forgot. Besides thanking Tim and thanking Dave for their efforts, I would like to thank Mrs. Jeffers, Mrs. Mingus, Mrs. Call, and Mrs. Densberger. As others have stated, you have no idea sometimes the amount of stress and strain it puts on not just the person sitting up here, but that person that's a sounding board, or that person that puts up with the things that we are doing, our support, which leads me to, I don't want to talk a lot about tonight with myself. I just want to thank my family, especially my wife. Dave mentioned best friend when he talked about Candy, and there's no better way to describe my wife. I would not be able to do the things I do if not for her. Tonight, she is at a band concert. She didn't just not come, but my son Troy is playing at the junior high, and that's where she is. So sometimes we have to divide and conquer. But it is great having a supportive family. My kids are supportive. They look forward to hearing about the different things that we do. It makes serving on the city council even more enjoyable, because when you have support behind you, it just makes it that much better. I truly love being a commissioner in the city of East Peoria. It's been a great experience. I've gotten to do a lot of wonderful things, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years serving with these gentlemen. I think we'll have a good time. I think we'll get a lot of really good things done.
Very good. Commissioner Hill?
Okay, I only have one comment really tonight. After, some of you heard that after serving 19 years, serving the city on the Zoning Board of Appeals, I'm excited, even though I might not show it like they said earlier, but excited about working with these gentlemen up here, building on the foundation and the accomplishments of the previous council, and building upon that and making East Peoria a little bit better for all of us. So that's all.
Very good. Commissioner Mingus?
I'd like to echo what Commissioner Hill said. I'm excited to work with the gentleman up here. I want to take a second to thank Commissioner Jeffers for his time, Mayor Mingus for his time. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize my family sitting in the audience that didn't get recognized when Mayor Mingus recognized my grandma, grandpa, and aunt and uncle. But I have my daughters here, Julia, is sitting in the crowd, and Jolie and my wife left, it looks like, with my 4-year-old because he wasn't behaving real well. I'm surprised he made it as long as he did. I was a little worried, but I want to thank them for their support. I want to thank everybody in the audience who came out to watch us get sworn in. I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to working with these guys, and I'm looking forward to serving everybody in the crowd for the next 4 years.
Very good. Commissioner Sutherland?
Well, I don't talk as good as you guys do, but I argue pretty good when the time comes. I'm a serious. I think I'm a serious person. I'll take my job on seriously. I'll try to have a smile, and I'll try not to cuss. That's a hard thing for me, but I will give it my best shot, I promise you. I would also like to thank my mother and my son and my grandkids and Ange. Thanks.
Very good. I'd just like to say thank you for all of you for taking time out of your day to come here and witness the changing of the guard, as I said earlier. Thanks again to Commissioner Jeffers and Mayor Mingus. Mayor Mingus made this transition very smooth. The last month has been a very busy month, but with the newly elected members, I think they've done a great job of rolling their sleeves up and getting themselves comfortable with their various departments and getting to know each other. And I'm really looking forward to this next 4 years, and thank all the leaders that came before us for laying a great foundation. We'll build upon it. And I especially thank the residents of East Peoria for trusting in all of us sitting up here. And we are going to strive to do the best job possible. And I hope to hear from you. So thank you all for being here, and I will seek a motion to adjourn.
I have that, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, May 21st, 2019, at 6 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Very good. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present
We are
voting, aye, Your
adjourned. Thank you.